Guys, and welcome back to Chinky's World. You know, I promised you that I am going to do some fun videos, and I have been wanting to do this one on the side chick for a long time. In fact, I've wanted to do a whole cheating series, a whole series around this, so I might still do it. But the reason why I delayed is because this has so much pain attached to it. There's so many emotions and so much pain attached to it. I had to be ready for not so great feedback and, you know, interesting opinions. And I have to sometimes be emotionally ready. I've got hair in my eye. Sometimes I have to be emotionally ready for the content that I put out, because I know that some content is just like sweet and nice and good advice. And I know some content really kind of is gonna sort of hurt someone or be misunderstood, because I don't have a 4-hour day to sit down and explain everything in its intricacies. I seek to be non-judgmental in every one of my videos, as a person, because quite frankly, I've been on the other side of judgment, and it's never a pretty thing. So today I'm going to talk about the side chick versus the wife. Who is winning? I actually saw that title on the reel. The girls on the reel were having that discussion, and it's, you know, it was a very sort of interesting one. I think it's one of the old, it's not recent, it was a while back. And you know, everybody had the same old, and I don't think there will ever be a time. I believe there probably will be a time when being a side chick is all right, but it's not in our time, and it's certainly not in our generation. And there's a reason for that. So before I go any further, guys, make sure you subscribe if you're new to this channel, and leave a comment and get in touch with me or hang out with me on Instagram and Facebook, Chinky's World. That's where I spend my time, okay? And we can have more and more of this conversation as we go along. So what I really want to talk to right now is the reality that every single woman faces, has faced, or if you're not facing it, you will face it. And that is some guy walking up to you and offering you the side chick deal. Now, not every time is this deal offered to you knowingly. Sometimes some of us, and that's something that what's her name? The Braxton girl. What's her name? I forget. She was on the panel at that point, and she said, you know what? If we're going to be honest, most of us have been side chicks at some point in our lives. It's just that we didn't know it in most instances. And I, for one, have been a side chick unknowingly to me, and been in situations when I've been very aware that the person is married, but at a very vulnerable position where I've entertained it, thank goodness, not to the levels that most people do, but had time for it in the way that I ain't got time for it. Like, I had time for the dialogue, if you get what I mean. So we've all been in a situation, or most of us have been in a situation, if we're going to be 100% honest, where someone else's guy has tried to, you know, have that conversation with us. And one of the things I really need to drive home is a lot of us think the side chick is a different kind of woman. She's a different breed of woman. She's a kind of ugly. She's a kind of born ugly, selfish, bitchy, evil human being, which is what I used to believe, because I got married really young when I was 19. So I sort of was out of life, to be honest, because marriage is a way of taking you out of life as you know it, in terms of the dating and whatever world. Even married women get married men coming onto them. It's just how it is. And even as a married woman, I had married men who wanted to do a thing, okay? So it goes on. It doesn't always mean you're a single that a guy is going to come up to you. And to be honest, we kind of think the side chick is some kind of slut, slapper, deserves a slap on, you know, kind of. But I know girlfriends of mine who are decent, hardworking, loving, caring, love the Lord, who have been side chicked, and the only reason they found out was some guy came and who sometimes in the back of their minds know that their man has got another man, but they're sticking it out, because the truth is, a side chick is a human being. She's a girl like you and me. She is built the same way, came from a good home just like everybody else. But what happens and what people don't understand, and the dynamic that goes into this place, the psychology behind it, is where the power really lies. Because you see, there are different scripts that men who want extracurricular activity bring to women. We're very emotional creatures, and we think in color, and as a result of that, a man can easily manipulate and use. Now, a man that is looking for a side chick usually has different sort of agendas, and those are not so noble. But it doesn't necessarily mean there are different types of men out there. There are men who just don't believe one woman will ever be enough for them. They want a little bit of this, they want a little bit of that, they want a little bit of that, and they want their main wife and a little bit of fun on the side. So, and there are loads and loads and loads of them. And depending on your culture, it's either acceptable or it's not. So with a man perhaps coming from an African culture sees nothing wrong with it. I've spoken to so many guys who just don't. I remember having a conversation with a guy from Zimbabwe, and he was trying to hook me up with his mate, and of course I wasn't feeling it. But he was saying, and he said, oh yeah, he's married. And I was like, how can you casually say that to me? Like, it's like, because I don't think any woman should ever really be put off because a guy's married, like whatever. I was like, what? Yeah. But in his reality, in an African man's context, women are to be had. So what? I got a wife at home, but you could still be my. And I had so many conversations like that with so many African men that they're culturally wired to believe that they're entitled to more than one woman, that they are entitled to have, and that you shouldn't really have any objections. If I want you and I can provide for you or give you what you need, what's your drama, you know? And so in some cultures, whereas in the English sort of culture, something that you look down on, or, you know, in Western culture, something that is secretive, and you still have to be the secret as a side chick. So, you know, you still have to hide, you still have to do the do behind the whatever. But depending on the culture you're in, depends on the kind of scripts that you get. And I call them scripts because if you are in a situation right now where you're dating somebody else's guy and you know it, there's something that person has told you. One of my mom used to say, never go to the woman and beat her up and start any kind of trouble. Deal with your man, because he has gone to chase her. He has told her. He has had to sell her something. You know, it was like she said to me, she's just been told something as well. And one of the things, you know, especially for those women who know about the side chick, you know, you're the main wife or the main chick and you know about the side chick. And of course you want to go and beat her up, but she's not your problem actually. What you need to realize is the same things he told you to get you to be his wife or girlfriend is exactly the same things he's telling this girl. Look, these men have two faces. They have two realities. They're duplicitous in nature. They are greedy. And they are entitled. And you have just married a duplicitous guy who's entitled, and as a result, to fulfill that need and that desire and that entitlement and that greed, he has told that woman things that would make her skin crawl. You know, now this video is for the side chick, and I'm going to do one for the main squeeze and the wife, because I know your reality. I know the pain on that side as well, because again, even the side chick has been the main chick who's been played. Even the you know, the side chick is now the wife, you know, to some other guy and experiencing this experience. So there are two sides of the coin, but they're two sides of the same coin. And the problem is still, ultimately, whether you're the wife or the side chick, is still the guy. He is the central point. He is causing all this drama in both of your lives. And I really truly believe that if as women we could empathize with one another, if we could do away with competitiveness, because I know some of the ego things that rise up is, you know, but you know, obviously she's just not she can't give him what I can, and she's just not young enough, she's not pretty enough, she's not amazing enough, that's why I'm here. actually she's a woman like you. You're thinking if a guy like Jay-Z can cheat on Beyonce, if Halle Berry can be cheated on, if big, uber glamorous, uber successful, amazing women who are clearly good-hearted can be cheated on, it means that it's a deficit in the guy. It's a deficit in the guy. And it's got nothing to do with the other person. It's got nothing to do with, you are not giving me what I need, therefore I'm going to go over there. And that's why I'm going to do that video for you later for the wifeys and the main squeeze, because I really need to calm down. I need you to understand that he's not doing it because of you. But as for the side chick, be very clear that he is using you to cope. You are the 20%. It doesn't matter what he's told you, and we're going to go through what he's told you, okay? I'm going to run through that script, okay? But it's not, you are the 20%. If he really was unhappy, happy, men who are unhappy are currently divorced. Men who are unhappy are currently single. Men who are unhappy in their last relationships are available. No, he's not unhappy. He just needs a little bit of something. And what you don't realize is that little bit of something, the little 20% is coming to you for. And no matter what he gives you in return, you've obviously become this accomplished woman, but yet you are still living in the shadows. You're still the secret. You're afraid that your secret will come out, and actually you're not getting any younger. And, to the world on Facebook and everything else, you're off to New York, you're off to whatever. But in reality, you're just the side chick, and there's no future there for you. You can never step out. You can never be the one. And this is the thing, is that the person who is using you to fill up their 20%, your life will always stay still. You will always stay still in a bubble. You will always stay frozen. You will never be the girl that walks up the aisle. You will never be the girl that anybody celebrates. Your children will never be celebrated. Nothing about you will stay stagnant. And I remember saying, look, you need to move on, because your life will stand still. The babies will come in his life, the marriages, the family weddings, the thing, and you will always be in the back, in the shadows. And at some point you've got to love yourself enough to think, no, but I want a little bit more for myself. I deserve more. And I believe that being a side chick that knows you're a side chick and accepting that life, it really roots down to everything that causes us to mess around with a player or mess around with Mr. Wrong, is a deficit in ourselves. It's that low self-esteem and low self-worth that we are validating, and that he exploits, you see, because at least somebody wants me, at least somebody cares about me. So you will always be the one who is used to cope with his relationship, and she gets to deal with the crap, and then he comes to you and you make it better. So he goes home and is the idiot and treats his main squeeze, his girlfriend or his mom, his wife really, really badly, and then she has to deal with the crap, the bills that need paying, the children needing school. She's having to carry a load, and you are contributing to her pain inadvertently. And of course she's gonna be a mean cow, and then he's gonna come to you and tell you all the mean things she said, and you feel like, I can be a better woman than that for you. But he's not leaving her. He's not leaving her for you. It's a chicken and egg situation. He comes to you and tells you how mean she is, because she's mean because she knows he's with somebody else. She knows she doesn't have him. She knows that there's something amiss. So she is fighting, and obviously usually doing it all the wrong way, because she's acting out of pain and out of emotions. And then he comes and tells you, oh, you never guess what she did to me. You will always be second. You will always be second. The first to be considered, the last to be sacrificed. You will always be second. I don't care if you throw a pity party. You will always be second. And you will always be a secret. If you have to be a secret, guys, it's a problem right there. Okay, so no way. And you're part of a lie. I understand what's going on. He has told you things, and because we're auditory and we believe everything men say, we have bought into that and built a story around that, and decided that story will do for me because I haven't found anyone. And the thing is, with guys that are somebody else's guy, the reason they're particularly attractive is because somebody else is working on them. Somebody else is making sure they leave the house having eaten, making sure that they're looking good, making sure that they're being cared for. They don't have the same insecurity as a single guy trying to talk to you and just trying to get your attention because they've got someone. Your rejection will never mean the same because they've got someone. So they're that bit more confident, that bit more sexy, that bit more. They come to you with a bit more, okay? They're coming to you with that bit more, and you are mistaking that bit more for some self-esteem or self-confidence, or you're totally getting deceived here, because it's not based on a reality. It's based on I have options. So they come with a confidence. Of course, they're a lot more financially secure because somebody else is out there holding fort, bringing in a secondary income, because he's not feeding his children. He's not supporting them. He's not supporting or feeding his family or looking after his wife and making sure she's okay. He's not doing that. She's having to carry that burden. And you are being fed a different set of lies, and you're enjoying the output, but somebody else is getting that. And even if he is super, 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 super wealthy and can afford to feed both families, you are still the secret. You are still eating off another woman's hard work, because he is what he is because of the woman that he's with. He would have never been able to accomplish, most men would have never been able to accomplish what they have had they not had a woman behind them, believing in them, trusting them. It's her money. You are flourishing off another woman's hard work and money. Even if she doesn't go to work, even if it was giving birth to those children and creating a home for him that he can leave to go and conquer the world, even if she was the one who was saying, you go and do this, it is her inheritance. That wealth that you are enjoying, you are enjoying it off him. And is it really about the money? Is it really about that for you? And I know what it's like when you are in that, when you come into that space where, but he loves me though. And he said that he doesn't love her anymore. So I'm going to go into the script now. He doesn't love her anymore. She got pregnant for him and he had to do the right thing and marry her, but he really didn't love her. It was one of those trapping situations, and now he's just ready to get out because he hasn't been happy for a long time. Hands up if you've heard that. They're together for the kids. He stopped loving her a long time ago. They're together for the kids now, and the kids are growing up, so now he's looking for whatever. And of course, I've never met a woman like you. Had I waited long enough, and I would have met my match, and you would have been you're always the woman that I've always wanted. She's the one that I settled for because my family pressure to get married. There was family pressure. There was the dog pressured me, the cow pressured me, and then there's always she proposed to me. She proposed to me, and she bought her own ring. Even the ring she's wearing, I never gave it to her. She went and bought that ring for herself. I have never proposed to her. She just said, when are we getting married? So when we get married, this and this is going to happen. Before I know it, she'd gone off. I've heard it all, people. Not necessarily to me, but I've heard it in the women that I've spoken to and the people that I've worked with. I have heard it all. She went and bought her own ring. She proposed. Like, you are walking down the aisle. You poor thing are walking down the aisle, and this woman carted you on it. Come on. And what's really funny is we believe this nonsense. My parents made me do it. My church made me do it. My pastor made me do it. What's the other one? She chased me. Yeah, I've written it down. She doesn't understand me the way you do. We've grown apart. We used to be in love, but we've grown apart. We no longer have sex since the children came. We don't have sex anymore. She's got an illness, so we live apart. What's the other one? We live apart. Girls, write it in the comment section. Tell me what's going down. Write it in the comment section. Let me know some of the scripts that you're hearing. But at the end of the day, you are more special. You're more amazing. I wish I'd met you. I wish you were the one. You are just incredible. It's you I really love. And for that moment and in that moment, I'm going to do a video called The Lies That Men Tell. And in reality, he actually, in that moment that he's saying to you, believing it. So yes, when he looks in your eyes, it's for real, girl. He genuinely looks in your eyes, the way he is with you, the way he spends time with you, the way he understands you. It's all for real. In terms of in his head. But the reality is his wife, who is at home, is the one that he's going back to, is the one that he wants to age with, is the one that he wants to build a life with. And by the time you wake up to the reality that you have wasted your life, there's another thing as well about being the side chick, is that there's an aura around you. The longer you are a side chick, you start to smell like side chick, because it's a spiritual thing. A lot of the girls that I know that are side chicks, or were side chicks and agreed to be side chicks, and the moment they found out continued anyway, or chose to date somebody else's man or some married guy, what ends up happening is, even if they open their eyes and walk away from this guy, the next guy is usually somebody else's guy. It becomes a cycle, a psyche. You become attracted to that energy, and that energy becomes attracted to you. And to break out of it becomes an issue of deliverance, because that thing constantly presents itself. It doesn't help that so many, I cannot tell you how many married men on a weekly basis try it out with me. Like, I've had the honest approach. I love my wife. She's never done anything wrong. She's a good woman. She looks after my kids, but she'll never be you. You're just this amazing Uber, the woman I've always wanted all my life. You're just amazing, great. But they're giving you the honest thing. Like, let's just come into an understanding. And what's in that understanding for me? What is in that? And it's really funny when I ask that question, like, what I don't get my take home with this. I don't get what I'm supposed to be taking home is, you think you are the best offering for me? Okay, so she's a great woman. Go make it work with her, whatever. And much of it is eating into the ego. We need to be better than the other woman, or feel like we're that special. And that can lead you down a horrible, horrible path in your life. And so, girls, one of the things that I would like to see is a movement where we just say no to somebody else's guy. There's still men in the world, there's millions of men who are single, eligible, amazing, great, fantastic men who are waiting to make you their number one. We just need to have say no to married guy. Now, for me, you can thank Jesus that if your hubby come to me and he's got something to say, 5, 6, 10, 7 years ago, I may have been like, is I really that special? And then eventually thought, come up, slap yourself, come to your senses. Now I just tell Mary, I'm like, I ain't got time for that. You need to keep that moving right now. Like, you're annoying me, get out of my face, okay? And I know that every time that I do that, he's going to go and find some other person who's eventually going to say yes. But for that moment, I may have made some other woman's life that bit better. In that moment, I have perhaps shown that man that we're not all the same, that you can't come and bring your rubbish here and use me to destroy somebody else's life. And one of the things that and the reason I keep talking about the other woman, ladies, if for those of you who are a side chick, is because that's the last thing we want to think about. We don't want to think about her. We don't want to think about her. We just want to think about what's going on between me and Johnny, right? We don't want to think about the other human beings that are being affected, the lives that are being affected, the children that are going without, the wife that is going without. This man has a day job, and you can tell me that he's looking after 2 households. We don't want to think about the reality. We want her to be a bitch. We want her to be an idiot. We want her to be the woman that he says that she is. But in reality, there's a good woman at home, a woman just like you, with a heart like yours, who's working, who, when she walked up the aisle, wanted it to work with her man. She's just like you. Just as a side chick is not a slut, is not a whore, is not a wicked person. She's just a girl that got told the lie, believed the lie, and is going with the lie. She is just as much a victim. So is the woman at home. She's not a monster. She is a victim. And the real predator and the real person that we need to be addressing is the man. The side chick just has to have the self-confidence to get up and do something with your life and own your world, and go back to school if you need to go back to school, and just embrace yourself, because there's power in that. There's power in being your own woman. And for the other woman, that's dealing with a side chick, don't hate on her. Deal with your man. You need to deal with that dynamic. You need to sort what's going on with your man, because he is, if you look at who is the problem in both scenarios, it's the guy. He has instigated it. No, very few women will walk up to a married man and try a thing. Usually he has had to make the advances. He has made the advances towards that other woman. She was probably going about her business. Yes, he might be a good looking guy. Yes, more whatever. But chances are most women will kind of notice that he's married and not and most women are decent. But he's had to step out of his position. He's the one who's stepped out. He's the one who's chosen to pursue. He's the one who's married to you. He's the one who's committed to you. And he has stepped out. And when he's broken that confidence and that trust with you to go to another woman, that other woman starts to believe that there must be a genuinely serious reason why he's done it. And ladies, for those who are side chicks, there is no genuine reason. There isn't. She's a good woman, working hard, raising his kids and being a good woman. So I really want you to realize that you deserve the best. Be a high value girl. Be a high value woman. Put some status on you. Never allow any man to make you second best. If he cannot make up his mind, if it really is that terrible, go and sort your life out, get a divorce, and once you've been divorced for a year or so, find me, if that's really a problem. But you will find that 5, 10, 20 years, he will still be in that marriage. There will just be somebody else helping him cope. And, this is my message to you girls, that you are not monsters, that the side chick is not a horrible monster. She's a woman who believed a lie, and that you can believe the truth. For you will hear the truth, and the truth shall set you free, that you can do better, that you every day you're spending with this guy who is married and treating you as second best and flattering you and feeding into your ego, there's some other single guy who would just give you the world. And so this message is for you to say that you are high value, you're worth more than that. Don't ever accept advances. The moment you know that the guy has got somebody else, has got a girlfriend or a wife, you got to keep it moving. Because even if it's a girlfriend and she's not married to him, keep her moving. He's in a committed relationship elsewhere, and if he's not happy with that, he needs to sort that out and then come to you as a single person, okay? Because you are worth so much. Because the damage that this does to your self-esteem, to your self-worth, is often irreparable. Very hard for women who've been in these kind of relationships to ever truly move on and ever truly establish lives for themselves. And it might not even be about the money. It might be about the emotional hollowness in your soul that he seems to be feeling. Honey bunny, there's a message from Chengiz World to you saying you deserve better, you can do better. Be you. Be prepared to be alone than be somebody else's second best. Okay, so love you guys. Take care of yourself. See you on Instagram and Facebook, and I will see you soon. Take care.